We don't fight because we want to fight. We fight because we've been attacked. A war has been imposed on us. And why has this war been imposed on us? And why does Africa suffer so much? I think everyone needs to understand this. It's because they want our land without us. And this didn't start today. It has always been this way for Africa.
In the dry heat of June, beneath the Sahelian sun, a convoy cut through the red earths of southern Burkina Faso. Its destination, a small military town named Po. But this is no ordinary visit, no routine inspection. This is a journey through a memory, a return to the sacred ground. 42 years ago, a young soldier named Thomas Sankara trained here in these very fields under these skies among these walls. He left just not a footprint, but a revolution. A revolution that dared to challenge global injustice, that dared to demand the dignity for the African people. That dream of a Burkina Faso built by its own hands and for its own children. On June 15, 2025, another young captain, Ibrahim Traore, walks the same ground, not as a terrorist, not as a politician, but as a soldier of purpose, a son of a revolution. His message is clear. We have not come to repeat history. We have come to finish what was started. In a time of foreign interference, rising insecurity, and restless youth, Captain Traore's presence in Po is a signal to Burkina Faso, to Africa, and to the whole world. The flame of Sankara is not dead. It lives on in a generation, in a new struggle, in a new hope. This is the story of a man returned, a nation reflection, and a revolution reborn. Let's dive into the details of what Captain Ibrahim Traore's visit to Po means to the whole world and Burkina Faso as a whole. He later gave a speech that cultivated a lot of audience around the globe and even in Africa, awakening African mindset in this modern age. June 15, 2025, Po, a small but historic town in southern Burkina Faso. It was here more than 4 decades ago that a young captain named Thomas Sankara began a revolution that would change a nation's destiny. Today, another captain, Ibrahim Traore, walks the same ground, not as a terrorist, but as the son of the revolution, returning to the birthplace of Burkinabe dignity and defiance. Captain Ibrahim Traore arrived in Po to thunderous chants of La Pare ou la Mort, nous vaincrons, fatherland or death, we shall overcome. Flanked by soldiers, ministers, and traditional leaders, Traore's visit was more than ceremonial. It was a spiritual reconnection with the spirit of Sankara, whose ghost still runs the red dust of the training camp where the revolution first marched. Inside the camp that once bore the training footsteps of Sankara and his comrades, Traore stood tall, silent for a moment, and then placed a raft at the feet of his fallen predecessor statue. Thomas Sankara is not dead. He lives in the blood of every young Burkinabe who refuses to kneel to oppression and lives in the dreams of sovereignty, justice, and dignity. This visit was not only a homage to the past, but a renewal of purpose. Traore addressed the military cadets, reminding them that the struggle of Sankara was not merely about guns, but about values, integrity, patriotism, and self-reliance. The revolution is not a one-time event. It is a daily commitment to serve our people, to protect the soil of Africa, and to say no to neocolonialism in every form. In the town hall of Po, Captain Traore sat with the people, listening, not preaching. He heard from farmers, women, cooperatives, and students. The message was clear: continue the fight, but bring us water, schools, jobs, and peace. This captain is walking in the footsteps of Sankara, but the people need to finish what was started. Development that is ours from the hands. That's a leader saying that. As part of the visit, Traore officially launched the Sankara Youth Civic Academy, a new national program to train young people in leadership, agriculture, military discipline, and a revolutionary thought, a modern evolution of Sankara's vision for youth empowerment. Burkina Faso will rise, not through charity, but through a generation trained to serve, to build, and to resist.
This morning I wanted to come and congratulate all the forces in Po, and by extension, the entire region. Congratulations on the work you've done. This is one of the most pacified regions, and that doesn't mean it's over. I also encourage you to continue the fight. This is a very dense area with a lot of forest. You have certainly managed to push back the enemy who tried to establish themselves here, and I hope you continue to patrol these forests to ensure there are no attempts at a return. So, I say congratulations, but also my encouragement for what's next. I hope I'm making myself clear. It's not because the enemy can no longer penetrate that it's over. This is guerrilla warfare. And here, we are at the National Commando Training Center. A commando knows what infiltration means. So, the enemy is capable of infiltrating. You must take this into account and remain constantly vigilant. After this, I want each of you to reflect on your commitment. Your commitment, because a war has been imposed on us, and today more than ever, I believe all combat forces must understand why we are fighting. I often tell element leaders to explain to their men why we are fighting. We don't fight because we want to fight. We fight because we've been attacked. A war has been imposed on us. And why has this war been imposed on us? I think everyone needs to understand this. It's because they want our land without us. And this didn't start today. It has always been this way for Africa. Remember slavery, where many Africans were deported, especially the strong, those of childbearing age, who were deported. Many died, and Africa was emptied. Then came the era of colonization, where they deported themselves to our lands, massacred us, massacred our ancestors, killed as many as possible. Africa has been colonized multiple times, and today more than ever, it's a new form of colonization. And why does Africa suffer so much? Because we have riches that interest the imperialists. I think each and every one of you must understand this. If you are able to put yourselves on the front line, to fight to the supreme sacrifice, as they say, it means you understand the meaning of your commitment. You have come to defend the nation, to protect this land that our ancestors bequeathed to us. Our predecessors wrote the anthem, and I think when you listen to the Burkinabe anthem, it begins with against, because they opposed several forms of colonization. The Burkinabe are against humiliation. We are against all forms of domination. The Burkinabe are against neo-colonialism. And you must take all of this into account to understand that they wrote the anthem to oppose a certain number of facts in this world. And they defended this land and bequeathed it to us. And our duty is to fight and defend our lands, also to bequeath them to our children. Today we are fighting, but not necessarily for ourselves, but for our children. Who here doesn't love their child? For those who have children, everyone loves their child. If danger were to befall a child, the father prefers to take the danger to spare the child. This is to say that the father prefers to die so that his child survives. So, we are fighting today for future generations, to bequeath them better lands so that they can live at ease. So there is no holding back in this fight. We will oppose everything these dominators want to impose on us. And you must continue to fight for that. Listen carefully to our anthem. And it should give you more motivation. Commit yourselves, because I often say, Burkina Faso is very rich. Today, we have grown in numbers in the armed forces, in the internal security forces, and in terms of equipment. We have also made many efforts. But where did we get these resources? Understand that there was mismanaged wealth, and there is even more. Because as some people think or can imagine, there is no bank in this world where you can go and get a loan to pay for armaments. There isn't one. They don't lend money in this world to go and pay for armaments. If you want to arm yourselves, you must use your own funds. But in the recent past, we were projected. We weren't armed like this. Far from it. I think there are many elders here who have experienced the same thing, who can advise the younger ones about what we lived through just yesterday and what we are living through today. And that should give you the motivation to fight. And that is very important. Fight for your lands. Fight to bequeath a better Burkina Faso to future generations. Fight so that we can exploit our resources decently and that it benefits us. We have launched several initiatives. Our parents in the village are more or less happy with everything we do for them in terms of agriculture, because the majority of our population is agricultural, for everything we are doing in terms of road infrastructure, to be able to move around and everything. Possible? Well, it's possible. I was telling someone 2 years ago, I said that in other countries, even hospitals for animals are often better equipped than our hospitals that treat us. In terms of equipment and all. But what have we done to be at this level? Well, we are going to catch up and surpass them. This is what led us to launch programs also to build modern and equipped health centers. There's no reason for us to lag behind. This is to say that everything we do, there is the possibility of doing it. That's why we do it, and we will continue in this direction. Those who have the chance to go abroad for training and take photos by beautiful streets and beautiful buildings, it's possible here in Burkina Faso, and that's what we're going to do, so that you can live comfortably. But for that, you have to fight first. That's why I say you have to reflect on your commitment, listen to our anthem, and fight. You are very courageous, very combative, but often there are attitudes that cause unnecessary losses, notably the use of mobile phones. Those who prove incapable of changing, of putting down their phones during operations, we will remove them from our ranks and we will punish them severely. Because we will not allow someone's phone addiction to put the lives of others in danger. Imagine you are on detachment at your position. Good soldiers are on watch, concentrated at their posts. They finish, they come down, they have to rest. And a saboteur is at the post with their phone on TikTok or 1xBet until the enemy approaches, attacks, and the good soldiers can die in their sleep. Do you want us to keep them in our ranks? Is that what you want? Then we will remove them from our ranks and we will punish them. I have already given instructions to military commanders to identify, as much as possible, those who have this addiction, who cannot part with their phones. We will remove them and we will punish them because what they are doing is criminal. We cannot tolerate that. Of course, we raise awareness, but we cannot tolerate it. You can keep small phones. That's just to call family. But if there's no reason for it, we'll deal with those who have parents who are magistrates or others who perhaps participate in tribunals that judge terrorists. They can inquire with them, whether in the tribunals, whether it's terrorists taken prisoner in combat, whether it's those who surrender. All of them unanimously tell us that they managed to succeed in certain attacks because of the excessive use of phones by our soldiers. So, if there isn't this awareness to get rid of them, we will take strict action. So, in a short time, you will surely see people dismissed, perhaps in prison, because they are putting the lives of others in danger, and they cannot part with them. In any case, it's quite clear. There is a note from the military hierarchy that prohibits phones during operations. After the awareness phase comes the repression phase. We will not tolerate people putting the lives of others in danger, even your own life that you put in danger with the phone. You don't have the right, because you don't belong to yourself. A soldier belongs to the army. You don't belong to yourself. You don't have the right to do what you want. You do what the army wants. So everyone must be able to pass on the message so that we can combat this phenomenon. If I say it so emphatically, it's because it's quite serious. It often negates your courage. And it often leads to us losing good fighters because they were at rest, and a false fighter caused the enemy to approach and attack and find them unprepared. So fight this excessive use of the phone and pass on the message as clearly as I am passing it to you, to your comrades. I know that here you will find soldiers of all ranks. Pass this message as clearly as possible. And also those who are intoxicating the ranks, because they are perhaps also intoxicated by the stateless individuals who are surely abroad and who continue to fight Burkina Faso on social networks, through the media and all. You must be very careful when someone tells you not to fight. They want to subjugate you. Do you want to be a slave? Do you want to be dominated? So you must fight. There is no other solution. The Burkinabe will not negotiate with their enemy. We will fight and we will win. That is the only thing that can prevail. There will not be a single hour of negotiation with anyone whatsoever. These are our lands. We will fight. Those who have come to attack us will die on this land. We will not give up anything, absolutely anything, not even a single square centimeter. Continue to prepare yourselves, to remain always on alert, even if you are not in operation. You must remain on alert because at any moment you can be in operation. You must prepare for combat, and this war should not last any longer, because we will do everything possible for the combat to regain a certain intensity and annihilate this enemy. Congratulations to all the forces who are fighting, and I hope you continue to work in unison with the civilian population, because it is very, very important. We didn't necessarily experience this love between the army and the civilian population years ago. It wasn't easy. There were endless small quarrels in the neighborhoods. But today, the army and the population are united, and that is the essential factor for the success of operations. That way, you have the information, the intelligence as needed. You are supported morally. You are supported psychologically. So there is no reason to be disheartened. There is no reason not to push forward, not to continue. Continue to cultivate this love with the population. Continue to help them. Continue to participate in uniting them also. Because our past decades of bad politics have contributed to weakening our different social causes, to dividing people often over futile issues. And your role also is to contribute today to uniting them, because your voices carry weight. Civilians believe in you today. When a soldier stands up and speaks to a dozen civilians, they listen, and it is easier for civilians to put into practice what you are telling them. So each of you must be an ambassador of peace and cohesion for our civilian brothers and continue to play this role. Also, take advantage of these moments of love among us. Talk to them. Bring them to unite. To be able to let go of certain divisions that were born solely from politics. And you must contribute to this. Because being a soldier is not just about holding a weapon, running, killing. No, you are trained beyond that. If you are defending a homeland, it means that you embody all these values, and that you must also be able to exploit them to unite your civilian populations. Good training for those who are still in training. Good luck. Don't lose morale. It's tough here, but only the tough make it through. And you are tough, and you must make it through. For those who are in the field, I wish you the best of luck in your operations, and continue to scour the different forests to detect any infiltrations. Continue to protect these populations who believe only in you.
The most emotional moment came when Traoré met one of Sankara's childhood companions. Tears were shed, hopes were exchanged, a generational touch passed in silence. As the sun set over the hills of Po, the captain departed, but not without leaving a fire in the hands of the people, a fire that echoes Sankara's voice. Captain Ibrahim Traore's visit to Po was more than symbolic. It was a declaration that the revolution continues, that Burkina Faso has not forgotten, and that under the new sun, the legacy of Sankara lives on. That is much about what Captain Ibrahim's visit to Po was all about. Guys, whatever you think about Captain Ibrahim's speech, Po, drop it in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video.